Hello, everyone. Robots. So true. Hi, Relix. Congrats on your 3-stream streak. I'm honestly a little surprised it's not longer, but... C'est la vie. Hello, Spooky. Welcome on in. We are back for some robots. We left off in the middle of Phase 6. We'll be finishing Phase 6, which I am pretty sure is going to be Juna's ending, just based off of everything that we've been getting from this phase. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Sometimes you miss Saturday stream due to big eepiness. That's fair. But if it's your 3-stream streak, I think that means you missed... Trying to think how days. So you're definitely here yesterday. It'd be weird if you weren't. You were here the stream before and the stream before. So I think that means you missed Nep. Yeah. Nep was the one that you missed. It was the last Nep of that particular game too, damn. It's okay though. You were here yesterday? I know, unbelievable. Never before seen. Relix here on a Friday. But anyways, let's get right into this, shall we? You skipped up in case you ever play it, that's fair. I mean, that was the last mainline game. We'll be moving on to side games, so that's a little more shrugs if you want to watch their shenanigans. But you still could lurk. You could have the tab muted. Anyways. That was not right. Here we go. Let's see where we load in, to see if I kind of remember. Okay, I don't think I really remember where we left off then, if we're here with... I can see Juna trudging towards school. Maybe this was right when, like, Juna told Kai that she wants to quit the Robotics Club. I don't really remember the exact story beat we left off of. Because I edited it last week, and last week we didn't stream, so... Oh well. Best way to find out more is to keep reading, right? After lightly jogging for a bit, I managed to catch up to her. Jun-chan, I have a proposal for you. Huh? What is it? Would you like to accompany me to the robot clinic's forbidden storage space? What? What? Juna's eyes widen. The robot clinic is as still as the grave. Well, that's pretty normal. Oh, there's the Bahaba. There's Twips. Hey everyone, work on a robot's cosmetics after you've proved the performance and capability backed by technology. If you're building a robot on looks that can't fight, you should be building a figure. What's demanded of a robot is performance. Looks come after. Remember that. Play 20 minutes, 30 to 0, off to Robot Clinic. What's hidden in the secret base, says Centipede, and I don't remember if I need to respond to this right now. Let's see. Okay, yeah. What's hidden in the secret base? A book of prophecies. Eroge. A giant robot. And I'm sure you guys can guess that the correct answer is Eroge. Tadpoles rain from the sky. Tadpoles? Hey, whoever said that tadpoles won't rain from the sky, show yourself. I brought the source. The source is Ports Tokyo. Lol. No, it only rained in Shibadashi. How am I supposed to know about news from the countryside? So, where are the pigs at? I get that it was raining tadpoles, but why? I don't know. This wouldn't happen in the norm. Can tadpoles actually be aliens? Before it was raining tadpoles, the tadpoles must have been thrown up in the air from a storm or from a tornado or a storm nearby. There has to be. It's not unusual or anything. This has been an issue a couple of times in the past. The birds throw them up. They're tossed up while they're flying, so they fall fast. At times, over 50 tadpoles fall. It's the usual sight for the locals. Nothing special. Relix, is this true? Have you been throwing up tadpoles in the air? It was a crazy scene seeing over 5,000 tadpoles fall. I thought the sky turned black, then tadpoles started to fall and turned into hell in an instant. What? 5,000 of them? First I'm hearing that. Too crazy. Is this from the Red Aura too? Maybe. You plead the fifth. I still can't believe that this place used to be filled with the cheerful voices of a bunch of kids. Listen to me. We should go back. Juno's glancing all over the place. She looks really uneasy. Man, I wonder why. June, at times like this, you just gotta bite the bullet and press onward. Nakio tries her best to encourage her. After I told her what Mizuka-san told me, it's like a switch flipped in her head. If we're gonna cheer up Doc, we've gotta revive his old robots. I'm not sure that's our only option here. But considering neither of us can come up with something better, why not? I'm looking for an excuse to get into the forbidden storage space anyway, so I piggyback off of Akiho's proposal. It'll be too late if we don't hurry. Don't you want Doc to live a long life, June? I do, but... I don't think it's right to break in. We're not. I spin a set of keys around my finger. These are the keys that Doc entrusted to your dad, right? Doc spiraled so hard that he asked his son-in-law, Juna's dad, to dispose of any unnecessary goods at the clinic. And so, Akiho and I convinced Juna to borrow the keys from her dad. Juna's a pushover, so that part was easy. I'm still, a little worried. Juna was reluctant about Akiho's proposal from the get-go. And we can't just take the robots outside without permission. I only want Doc to feel better. That's all. For now, let's just take a look at what's going on in the storage room. But Juna slightly shakes her head. She stands still, refusing to move forward. Wait here. Just likely scared to even go inside. She's even more pale than she was before. I could even see her knees shaking too. June. Let's go, Aki-chan. I'll lead Akio into the shop. The forbidden storage space isn't accessible unless we circle around the scrapyard behind the store. We open the heavy sliding door that was shut tight with the padlock and head inside. Since there wasn't a single window, no light shone into the place. Fair. Do I need to do any twippos in here? No, okay. It's only right out. Got it. Stepping 1 foot inside is enough to make the both of us cough up a storm. He must have woken up some dust. I wonder why. It makes you wonder how long this door has been shut for. Probably a really long time. It's entirely possible that it hasn't been open since Michi wandered in 8 years ago. Kai, look. With the door now open, a beam of light shoots through the storage space, illuminating a series of robots lined up next to each other. They stand there silently in the dark, not making a single move. If I could stop yawning, that would be awesome. We just started. I'm not even tired. I can't quite make out how many of them there are in the darkness, but Mizuka-san said there should be 9. Naki-chan, if I saw these robots late at night, I'd probably piss myself. Thank you, Kaido. I could definitely see how this place is traumatizing for a tiny Juno. Anybody would be scared. But Akio simply walks forward into the room, a sad expression on her face. She gently touches the arm of the red robot standing in the very front. And they're covered in dust. They look like they haven't been touched in years. Supposedly used to talk and move around. I wonder if it still works. They should. And they will. I want to believe that. Because Doc is the robot doctor. He never just abandoned a broken robot. Never. Despite her words, all signs seem to point to this place having been sealed off for years and years. It should be clear to anyone that Doc hasn't touched this place in forever. Is there a power cord or something? If you plug them in, they might move. Nakao searches around the red robot's feet and back behind it. Does it have a power switch on it or anything? If it does, well, maybe the one to push it. Huh? Why? It doesn't matter. I just want to. And this red guy right here might be Gojiro after all. What? Even in this dark room, I can tell that Akiko is grinning. Could it be that you actually like these kinds of robots? You're like a little kid, Kai. She's misunderstanding, but there's no point in trying to clear things up. I mean, fair, I guess. Since there are no lights in here, we brought flashlights from the store and used them to find the robot's power cord. It's plugged into the wall. All preparations are complete. The power switch is located inside the lid of the robot's back. Ugh, these yawns seriously need to fucking stop. We've barely started. Alright, I'm pressing it. Okay. I hit the switch. The red robot doesn't move an inch. Is it broken? No. Akiho lowers her shoulders in disappointment. Doc, you're the robot doctor. How could you? We tried to turn on the rest of the robots, but none of them so much as twitched. Just to be sure, I checked in with Airi, and she confirmed that I hadn't set the flag yet. It feels kind of fresh. Once in a while, old designs can actually feel new. Tin-plated robot toys didn't even exist when we were kids. I don't feel nostalgic, but it feels nice. But nonetheless, I like robots that are like, bang, Jakeen, horns coming out of their heads or shoulders, an animal face on the chest, and it combines together. If you say things like that, Eskin's gonna tell you to quit talking nonsense. Jakeen and Bang really show the prowess of your vocab. There are a lot of robots with an animal face on their chests. Even I've noticed that. I wonder why. I'll go with the one that dunks on her vocab. Despite how late it is, we find Gina waiting for us. Not at the clinic, mind you, but at the hospital, which was about a 10-minute walk from Doc's store. She's waiting at the bus stop in front of the entrance, sitting alone on the bench. How'd it go? No good. The robots were broken. I see. Man, this sucks. Akiho looked up at the third floor of the hospital where Doc is staying and began ruffling her hair with her hands. She then faces Juna and I. Why is the cat eating the dog's food? Whatever. She then faces Juna and I, breathing heavily through her nose. Hey, I have a proposal. Why don't we try fixing those robots? Yeah. You have food in your own bowl. Why are you like this? Agreed. What the? I've never seen you be so assertive, Kai. You finally had a change of heart. I'm so proud. You don't have to cry about it. What about you, Jun? What do you think? If we're gonna repair them, Jin-chan should participate. Aki-chan is banned, and I'm just her chaperone. It'd be weird if the two of us start messing with his robots. But if we had an excuse, like Jin-chan being around, so I probably wouldn't get nearly as upset. Please, Jun. I want to try and make Doc feel better. Think of it like a challenge. If we get in trouble for fixing them without his permission, I promise I'll take the heat for you. I can't. Alright, then how about a match? Huh? If I win, you'll cooperate with Aki-chan. If you win, you don't have to help, and you're free to quit the robotics club too. Wait, hold on. What do you mean quit the robotics club? Jin-chan apparently wants to do just that. Yashio-kun. What? Did you not want me to tell her? You do realize she's the president, right? If you want to quit the robotics club, you gotta tell Aki-chan first. No, it's just, this is all so sudden. I wasn't ready. She freaks out over the weirdest things, I swear. I know it's just timid and all, but this indecisiveness of hers can be real grating sometimes. Well, whatever. It's not my place to say anything. It was probably a mistake to talk her into joining the robotics club in the first place. Hey, June. Akio approaches Juno with a petulant look on her face. Overwhelmed by Akio's sudden vigor, she looks away apologetically. I'm sorry. Did you come to like robots at least a little bit over the past 2 months you spent in the robotics club? Huh? Akio firmly grasps Juna's hands. Holding on tight, she looks straight into her eyes. With nowhere to run, Juna is forced to meet her gaze straight on. You said you were afraid of robots before. Were you able to overcome that fear? Well... Juna weakly shakes her head from side to side. I do not and will not approve of your resignation. I refuse to let you go until there's at least one thing you like about them. What insane logic. Just completely disregarding Juna's feelings on the matter. Oh well, I guess it makes things easier that way. June, let's fix Doc's robots together, okay? This is a direct order from the president. What? The weak-willed Juna stands no chance against Akiho's one-sided demands. Since we decided to repair Doc's robots, we first need to select which ones we're gonna fix up. That's fair. Twips. Woke up, played 1 hour, 10 to 0. I'm still not doing good enough. Is this the thing to respond to? No, I do not have a thing to say to this. I do want to look at the options though, I just won't send any. If you stay sad like that, nothing will change. You don't need to go if you can't. Aki-chan is a bit pushy. Yeah. Just quadruple checking that there isn't anything to say. Live without regrets. I'll fix it. I'd even say I'm better at repairing stuff, since all I've been doing is maintenance. Even if I get in trouble, it'll be worth it. You have to come. If you don't, I'm going to pick you up. Robots are friends, huh? I want to be friends with them, but I can't see them. Kai rarely helps out. Usually he won't help because he says he's lazy. I have my own reasons. It's a secret. Don't push Jun-chan too much. I'll need help. I will help instead. Bleh. If you're by yourself, you might get caught trespassing. I'm just guarding you. I have my own reasons. It's a secret. I like the guarding option. It's funny. Maybe I'll hit the arcades to loosen up a bit. Considering Doc's condition, we don't have a lot of time. Since time is of the essence, we obviously can't afford to fix all 9 of them. We're fixing Gojiro-kun. Upon making my suggestion, Akiho and Juno look at me, bewildered. Which one's Gojiro-kun? I have no idea. theory, Mai. But you know their names somehow? Yeah, I heard from Misaka-san that one of the 9 robots, Gojira-kun, was the most popular one with the kids. And that's a total lie, of course. Although they both don't seem to really buy my explanation, neither of them objects. Which means they probably don't care which robot we fix. I mean, why would they? The main problem is identifying Gojiro-kun. And so, we sent Juna inside the shop to search for info regarding Doc's robots. Akio and I take each robot out of storage to check whether there are any names written on them. Of the 9 robots, some have wheels for ease of movement, and some don't. The former are fairly easy to move around. Inevitably, we begin by checking the wheeled units first. Kai, take a look at this. As I investigate a red robot that looks like it's sitting in a chair, I saw that its pedestal had wheels on the bottom, only for Akio to call me right after. There's a removable lid on the back where the very small wiring is stored. All of these wires have been cut, as if someone took a pair of scissors to them and deliberately severed each cable individually. I knew something wasn't right. These robots didn't break. And they definitely didn't strike me as the type of delicate robots that break after a few years in storage. That's for sure. And they weren't intentionally disabled. Doc killed these robots with his own 2 hands. He's a robot murderer. Killed? Don't say it like that. I'm not wrong, am I? Medical malpractice of the robots. Why would he do something like this? Beats me. On the flip side, I discovered a much more important truth. I look at the lid I removed from the robot. The plate was affixed to its back with the robot's name and date of birth neatly engraved onto it. This red robot's name was Sakura. Sakura. I wonder what kanji you'd use to write that. Never mind, it doesn't matter. I found a way to identify the box. All I have to do now is figure out which one of these remaining 8 is Gojiro. Unfortunately, the robot I needed, Gojiro-kun, wasn't self-propelled. It was a yellow robot mounted firmly to a pedestal. Its primary function is to apply stamps. We had to remove it as a candidate for repair due to the frustrating reason that he'd be too difficult to carry outside. In its place, we chose Yoshiro-kun. Since the nameplate only has Yoshiro's name written in Roman letters, I have no idea what the kanji are. Quite the handsome man, huh? I'm beginning to doubt your aesthetic sense, Saki-chan. Yoshiro-kun has a blue body, and it's designed to stand upright. Due to the wheels installed underneath its feet, everything below the ankles looks oddly gigantic, including the shoes. It's about 2 meters tall. The arms are very thick, but I'm sure the only parts that move are the shoulder joints. On the other hand, it's possible that his arms are just for decoration, just like the Robotics Club beloved Model 1. In the center of the chest was a patrol light, a callback to the hero that can only fight for 3 minutes before vanishing. Would it light up after 3 minutes passed? The facial design is similar to the other 8 robots, but each one has a slightly different expression. Yoshiro-kun wears a bright smile with a wide open mouth. The eyes are large and bulge outward. Once taking a closer look, the left eye's transparent cover was cracked. It has a protruding triangular nose. Patrol lights for ears. and a horn resembling an antenna. In the center of its eyes are miniature light bulbs with reflective mirrors, like the ones you'd find in a flashlight. Inside the mouth were several LED lights lined up inside a transparent plastic case. The ears are made up of yellow patrol lights. This thing must be pretty lively when everything's up and running. But I could see how it'd be creepy if it suddenly burst to life in the dark. So, I think we can fix it. Nope. Twips. 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 I don't know. Twips. Robot doctor killing robots. Doctors should be fixing them. This is just too sad. What's your favorite robot? Gunvero. I have multiple. Gunbim. I'm pretty sure the answer is I have multiple. Yeah. Nakio appears inside Yashiro-kun's back. There's a bunch of quartz haphazardly jammed in there. His quartz have been cut, just like the others. But I don't see any other critical damage outside of that. Nah, the reason why his eyes cracked and he's a little dented is most likely because he fell over. So, as long as we rewire him, I think he'll be able to move again. But there are only blah blah blah. But there are a whole lot of cords in here. They're all soldered on, so replacing them with new ones will be a huge undertaking. Best of luck to you, Haki-chan. You're helping too, Kai. Jun's up next after that. Speaking of Juna, she somehow managed to vanish before either of us could notice. We had her looking for any documents that would help us identify the robots' names, but her and her scooter are nowhere to be found. Damn, June. It must have been really painful to come here. Or could it be that seeing the robots is far worse? Either way, was it alright for her to have left the shop keys with us? Oh, here's an idea. If we can, we might as well make it so they can be controlled remotely. Whoa. You mean you want to modify it? I don't think Doc will be real happy if you messed with it too much. We'll provide an options menu. They can be autonomous for the most part, but we'll also be able to switch them to an RC mode. Is that easy to do? Probably. It'll always be much always be much more painless than installing the kill-pallet control system. Moving forward, backward, turning, hand movements, lighting up the eyes and ears, and talking. We should be able to use an RC or a vehicle transmitter. And the programming is fairly straightforward as well, so we shouldn't have to rely on Frau Bo either. Would you look at that? It's rare for you to be so reliable. Well, excuse me, Kai. I'm the president of the Robotics Club, I'll have you know. And I'm the genius that modified Tanagashi Machine 3 too. I picked up the basics from the older members over the last 2 years. So, I should be able to deal with a machine this simple, I think. No boy. Well, I'll leave Yoshiro-kun to you then. And, could you fix up Gojiro-kun too while you're at it? Instead of Gojiro-kun, could we fix up someone else? Preferably someone self-propelled? What about Hidesaburo-kun? He's on wheels. Why are you so attached to Gojiro-kun? Isn't it obvious? It's because Gojiro-kun's the coolest robot of them all. Duh. Man, I'm gonna have to get the thing up and running all by myself, aren't I? Alright, June. I'm gonna have to desolder all the wires from this circuit board and replace them with the new ones. Akiho is still holding Yoshiro-kun's circuit board in her hand, and there's Twips to look at. Don't disgrace Gun Viral. Played 30 minutes, 7-0. Recently I've been itching for those blueprints, and, surprisingly, I'm getting motivated to fix them up. The same thing happened with the Gunpil one. Throwing robots away is not acceptable. You're the one who told me that, Doc. You good? What happened? What am I doing here? Great question, June. I don't have a response for you though, unfortunately, but I will read the options anyway. If the reason you're here is because you were told to be, then I don't think you should bother. You're here at Robot Clinic, which means you care. Aw. You're worried about Doc. That should be enough. Don't overthink it. Yeah. Alas, I'm not being told to respond to these, so I'm gonna leave them alone. Lucky who's holding Yoshiro-kun's circuit board in her hand. There are numerous wires tightly packed and soldered onto it. All of them? Of course. The next day. Akiho had acted quickly. She went out of her way on a weekend to go to Kamada Motors in Nakatane to buy new wires and miniature lights. She then came straight to the clinic to remove all of Yoshiro-kun's wiring. And now it's nearly sunset. June and I finally have something to do. I'll be putting in new circuitry for the remote control system. June, your job is incredibly important. You're gonna be connecting Yoshiro-kun's nerves back together. And Kai, you replace the light bulbs. Once you're done with that, go help June. Fair. Juna hands me an electric desoldering pump. Looks like a power drill, but the tip has an electric heating component, and it uses a motor for suction. I guess you used this to melt out the hardened solder and suck it out. Juna's not afraid of the circuit board, it's just the robot it came from. She apparently handles chores around the house, so she's good with her hands. She has no issue picking up the process quickly and reproducing it without a word. You don't have to try and finish it all today. Despite Akio's words, Juna quietly and indifferently continues her work. The next day, the three of us have all been fully immersed in our task ever since the sun came up. We've been taking full advantage of the holiday. Having said that, I already finished replacing all of the lights yesterday. So what have I been doing now that I'm done, you ask? I've been secretly trying to fix Gojiro-kun's power circuitry by watching and imitating Akiho. But it's much more difficult to work in the dark storeroom. Juna finished before nightfall, so Akiho took the circuit board and installed it onto Yoshiro-kun. It was going to be the second time the thing had opened its eyes, but... Despite taking notes beforehand, Akiho ended up miswiring the entire thing, and everything went to hell after that. No! She lost track of what connected to where, and we ended the day with Akiho on the brink of tears. RIP. Juna POV. I ride my scooter south down the highway. Driving on such a wide road like this scares me a little. Numerous cars zoom past me at really high speeds. And I can't help but flinch whenever one does, praying they don't hit me. Akio-chan has been running an errand for her. Operation Repair Grandpa Fujita's robots hasn't been going all that well, but we're still making progress, more or less. Since yesterday, Akio-chan's been testing the wiring to see if it's all connected properly. I guess just checking each wire one by one to make sure they're working, using something called an electrical tester. I had already finished my job, and since I didn't have anything to do, Akio-chan sent me on a new mission for the day. I'm heading to buy a speaker. Since I'm terrified of robots and can't bring myself to go anywhere near them, I'm grateful she gave me a task I could actually handle. Even now, my knees start shaking when I look at those robots. I'm ashamed of myself, but no matter what I do, I just can't go over the memories of the accident. I mean, it was a near-death experience for you, sweetie, so fair. I park my scooter in front of the robot clinic and take off my helmet. Hey, June! Okay, what's on his way? He got me from the storefront. Did you get the goods? Yeah, I went to the home appliance store in Ishinomote. Sorry for sending you that far out. I hand Akio-chan the speaker in question. I say speaker, but it's not the type you'd use to listen to music. It's a unit, apparently. Yoshiro-kun's speaker unit was completely removed, so the poor guy couldn't talk. If we installed its replacement, but bam! Problem solved! Okay. I don't really want to hear about that very much. My memories of the incident re-emerge, and I quickly shut my eyes. June? It's nothing. Just the trauma flashbacks. Where's Yoshio-kun? Storage room in the back. He's trying to repair Gojiro-kun. I wonder why he's so obsessed with that one robot. Mars, hello. Thank you for the raid. I imagine you finished up the tattoo Mars attack. So true. Hello, Mango. How's it going? If you finish the tattoo design, you should share it in the Discord, Mars, because I'd like to see it. Hi, Sophie. It's hard to type with my keyboard like off to the side. You did finish it, awesome. I look forward to seeing it whenever you post it. Feel free to @ me so I can see it sooner than later. But yeah, welcome on in, Raiders. My name is Saku, or even Q is acceptable. I consider myself a variety streamer, however I do stream mostly visual novels. Tonight I am playing some Robotics Notes Elite. I don't know why I was about to say Steins Gate. I haven't played Steins Gate in a really long time. Same game series, Science Adventure game series, however, wrong one. But yeah, we are working toward getting our second ending in this game, so that's exciting. If you... Mahoyaku when? Good question. Feel free to ask that in our group chat with Marvel. Has anyone ever called me Q-kun? No, but someone should, because that's adorable. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Wow. Yes, if you guys need to rest up, I know it's like 3 hours later in the day for you guys. Like, do feel free to like step aside or lurk or whatever. Take care of yourselves, no pressure to stay, all that fun business. But yeah, we are currently repairing robots. Yeah. You're vibing? Fair. And if anyone was dozing off in chat, they're now wide awake. It's just like fixing animatronics at 5 nights. Not exactly, but for Leo. I mean, if you want to go sound alerts for Leo, then there's this one. That's Leo. Thank you for the daily offering. I don't think anyone's got first now that I think of. Oh, Mango got first. Yay! One of the Peachies. Thank you, Shintaro Astanuma. So true. Okay, back to this. Who knows? By the way, June, I have one more favor to ask, as president. Huh? Oh, what is it? Another errand? Head pats? My iPad's off to the side where all my hotkeys are. Come here, you. Not there. Head pats, let's go. I feel like you guys don't redeem head pats enough anymore. You guys used to redeem them all the time. Hell yeah, QQ. Nope, not an errand. This is about after we fix Yoshiro-kun. After? And the reason we're repairing Yoshiro-kun is so we can make Dog feel better, right? If we're gonna make that happen, we need to have Dog see Yoshiro-kun fully operational. That's also why I installed the remote control system into him. As for who the operator's gonna be... Akiho-chan looks straight into my eyes. She's always like this. She's looking straight into my soul. Those eyes of hers sparkle so brightly, like dazzling stars. And because of that eye... In an attempt to escape her radiance, I look away. Don't run away, Jun. With a squeeze, Akiho grips my hands tightly. Gay. She always does this too. And just like that, my escape route has been blocked off. And that's not fair. When she corners me like this, she knows I'm too weak to say no to her. Even though I always tell myself, you need to tell her no. I can't help worrying about what others might think of me when I speak. What if I refused and she hated me after that? What if she never wanted to talk to me again? I want you to be the operator, June. I know you're afraid of robots, but you're the only one who can do this. Okay, Akiho, I get asking in a general sense, but this was the specific robot that led to a near-death experience for our dear Jun-chan. Please. I want you to like robots. But I can't. I shut my eyes tight and forced Akiho-chan's off of mine. I can't believe I just did that. She hates me now. She's gonna kick me out of the group. These thoughts keep me from saying another word. Aww. Akiho-chan, on the other hand, looks surprised for a moment before she tearfully clings to me. June, please! I can't. That's the whole thing. I can't, June. I'm sorry. I'll be in the shop, okay? I nearly ripped myself out of Akiho-chan's grasp and rushed inside the shop. Yeah. Poor June. Deep breaths. My heart is pounding. I said no. I usually get swept up in whatever she says, but not this time. And I feel like I've grown, at least a little bit. But that's just a lie. I'm still running away. I haven't changed at all. And the shop is completely silent. The ears begin to ring. I feel like I'll hear Grandma Vegeta screaming at me in any moment. I cover my ears to stop the deafening silence. This is such a pain. Twippo. This game has Twitter, guys. This robot's build is simple. I think even I can do it. It being simple is very nice. Maintenance is so much easier. It still goes way over my head. You actually can do maintenance. Respect. Then you should have made Model 1 simple too. Yeah, that's a more Kai response to me. Repairing Gojiro-kun proves to be more difficult than I anticipated. While getting advice from Akiho, I'm trying to make the bare minimum repairs necessary to get it running again. However, it still ends up taking me days just to figure out which wires for the power. Working in this ridiculously dark storeroom is hardly making things any easier. To add insult to injury, Gojiro-kun has no wheels, so I can't get it outside easily. I'll just have to manage on my own. Let's go, Kai. Let's go. Ari's been cheering for me since I started doing work here. I wish I could be as carefree as her. But no, here I am, killing myself over this stupid flag. Regardless, all that's left is to solder one final wire onto the motor. And if the motor itself is busted, well, I'm gonna choose not to think about that. I continue working, using a flashlight as my only source of light. And at last, the soldering job is complete. When did I get so sweaty? It's actually pretty nice outside these days, but the storage room is stuffy as hell. Alright, done. You're finished? That's amazing! Man, I've wasted way too much time on this. I'd been doing nothing but grind and kill Ballad if it weren't for this flag. Anyhow, that should do the trick. It might not move perfectly, but it should at least power on. Where's the power cable? I searched the floor with my hands. Don't know. I didn't expect you to. It's not long before I find the cable in question. I grab it and plug it into a power strip. I hold my breath to switch Gojiro-kun on. But it doesn't move a muscle. What the? That's weird. I turned the power switch on and off and tried disconnecting and reconnecting the power cable a couple of times. What's going on? That should have worked. At this point, I have no idea what the issue is. I'm not skilled enough to be able to troubleshoot this sort of problem. If this last-ditch effort doesn't work, I'll just have to come back another day. Crossing my fingers, I decided to take a look at the power strip itself. The strip in question came from the robot clinic and has an extension cable about 3 meters long. I was hoping that maybe the main power cable was just unplugged or something. I stand up and start walking with my flashlight in hand. Whoa. My foot catches on another robot. I trip over it and fall over dramatically. Ow. Poor Kai. Dust goes flying all over the place, causing me to cough up a storm. I then look up to find one of Doc's robots about to topple on top of me. I'd rather not get flattened. My body reacts fast, and I manage to brace myself and catch the robot before it topples over. It's heavy, but not so heavy that I can't hold it up. I grit my teeth as I return it to its standing position. That spooked me. Are you okay? Should I call for Akiho? Nah, I'm good. I take a seat to catch my breath, and as I lean back, my hands brush against something on the floor. I pick it up. It's absolutely covered in dust. It seems to be a picture frame of some sort. There's very clearly a photo inside of it. What's this doing here? Did Doc drop this? I'll blow off most of the dust and wipe off the rest so I can get a better look at the picture. Wait, this is... Aww. Jun-chan. Hey, let's shake hands. That's when I hear an odd voice coming from outside. A very robotic, monotone voice. Did Akiho finish Yoshiro-kun's repairs? I head out of the storage room, photo in hand. Nice to meet you.
Aki-chan.
Aki-chan. Akiho is standing in front of the blue robot, wiping the sweat off of her forehead in satisfaction. What do you think, Kai? After swapping out the speaker part, he started talking. Its eyes, mouth, ears, and chest lights shine brightly as its thick arms swing up and down at regular intervals. Hello, my name is Yoshiro. I'm Riko's friend. Huh, it's actually talking. Just not all that well. Maybe the connections are a little imprecise. I'll look into them later. Hey, let's shake hands. Gaze upon Yoshiro-kun in all of its radiant glory. Turns out his arms are still alive and kicking. They're pretty amazing, to be honest. They use gears to move, kind of like mechanical puppets. Nice to meet you. No, it's cute and all, but I can't say its moves are anything impressive. All he does is swing his arms up and down and say a couple words. But I'm sure to the kids he is a real good friend. Huh? Jun? I follow Akiho's gaze to find Juna standing at the distance, a shocked expression on her face. Something's wrong. She's staring at Yoshiro-kun, trembling. That's him. What did she say? No, my name is Yoshiro. Yoshiro-kun continues to speak with his distorted voice. Juna's expression darkens and she curls up into a ball. Yes. The show. So good. Hehe. Anyways. Yeah. The expression darkens and curls up into a ball. She starts shaking her head violently. Natsu is the one who fell on me. He... Aki-chan, shut it down, now. Huh? Oh, just a sec. Akiho is fumbling to try to open the back lid. But because she's panicking, she can't quite get it open. My friendly roll. Stop! Juna's uncharacteristically raises her voice. You're not my friend. No, it's closer to a scream. Jun-chan, take a deep breath. Hey, let's shake hands. Don't touch me. Aki-chan, hurry up and shut it down. I'm trying. Finally, Akiho manages to turn it off. The light vanishes from Yoshiro-kun's eyes. But by then, Juna's already sprinting toward the highway. All we can do is watch. Even if we tried to run after her, we'd probably collapse before we got even close. We stand no chance against a real athlete. I silently glanced down at the picture frame I picked up inside the storage room. It's an old photo of Juna, Doc, and Yoshiro-kun standing next to each other happily. Damn. Trauma responses go brr, huh? The next day, Twips. How was yesterday? Are you coming to school today? Can I come visit you at class? Played 15 minutes. 2-1. Damn it. Thinking about it. The club members haven't come to pick up the club room keys recently. I wonder what they're doing. Kai! After school, Akio comes stumbling over to my desk. June finally gave it to me. What'd she give you? A letter of resignation. You could submit those online, but she apparently went out of her way to write it out on paper. Damn. So this is her way of being clear about her intentions, huh? Not very Juna. After what happened yesterday, I tried visiting her classroom a bunch of times since this morning, but... All she kept saying was that she was quitting. And then during lunch, Mitsui-san and Yamamoto-san were guarding her, so I could barely even get a word in. Mitsui and Yamamoto? Jun's friends. Ah, that one tough-looking girl in the hot head. Do you think they convinced her to quit? What should I do, Kai? I managed to escape without accepting her letter, but... At this rate, Jun will end up quitting the robotics club and hate robots more than ever. I mean... Trauma response. Go burr. I lightly tapped the dejected Akiho's shoulder. Hey, Aki-chan. What's up? I have some business to take care of today, so I'll be swinging by the clinic a little later. What? Why? What business? It's personal. You're not gonna try and convince June to change her mind. It's only been a day. Let's give her some space. I've got a good proverb for you. If pushing doesn't work, pull. Did you just make that up? I flash her a smile and silently exit the classroom. Akio continues to whine behind me, but I head out as her complaints bounce off my back. Sillies. Let's see. I lean against my scooter and whip out my Pokécom. That personal business is this. Locating Kimijima Report number 4. After Juno left yesterday, I kept making adjustments to Gojiro-kun until I got him working. I only managed to get his lights to turn on. His stamping function was long dead. Even so, that was enough to set the flag according to ID. I finally managed to set all of the report number 4 flags. Which means the report AR's annotation should be visible somewhere. It's taken me almost an entire month to get this far. I've been through a whole lot. And I've just gotta find the damn thing.
ID-chan.
ID-chan. I wait until the students nearby leave, then call for ID. A moment later. Hi! ID's here. ID cheerfully responds. I immediately tap her forehead to summon Sister Centipede. Damn. Not even gonna say hi back. Access confirmed. Switching to Sister Centipede mode. Do you have any idea where Kimijima Report number 4 might be? Your best option is to determine its location via the placement of the flags. There are 3 flags for number 4 that might lead you to its location. Flag number 2. Upload photos of rocket launches from 4 suggested viewing points in Tanegashima to Iroho. The 4 recommended spots were as follows. Hudson Tembo Park, Ichigaoka Park, Nani Irozaka Viewing Platform, and the Takasaki Observatory. Flag number 3. Activate Gojiro-kun. Stored at the Robot Clinic. The Robot Clinic is located on the border of Nakatane and Minaretane, near the Hase Crossing. Flag number 4. Test fire a geotagged matchlock gun at least once. There are several conservatories and historical displays in Tanegashima that display objects related to matchlocks. It's gonna take way too much time to check all of them. I want to narrow this down as much as possible. If that's the case, the Robot Clinic, Atsutembo Park, Ichigaoka Park, Cape Kadokura, and the Tanegashima Space Center. Been a while since I've gotten a tip. Cape Kadokura, a cape located on the southernmost end of Tanegashima. On August 25th, 1543, guns were introduced to Japan by a Portuguese ship that washed ashore on Cape Kadokura. The cape now features a monument for this event, as well as Misaki Shrine, both of which are popular tourist destinations. This doesn't say fictional, so I guess this must be true. Interesting. What was that sound? Was that a Topo notification sound? Because I can't look. These locations should suffice. With that info, I'll just check out each place one by one until I find it. Now then, shall we get this party started? I really hope the AR annotation will show itself at one of these locations. I guess I'll use Duludo map to pick out potential spots. We map travel. Let me... It is at Tetsuntumbo Park, actually. Which is... where? Not there. Ah, here we go. Yeah, Hasetumbo Park. This is Hasetumbo Park. Yes, it is. There's apparently a Twitbo. I'm going to Robot Clinic solo today. I thought Kai was getting motivated, but this is only the beginning. Repairing was fun, seeing them fix was fun, and right now, I'm just feeling sad. Am I so down from just a club quitting notice? Robotics Club has just for 2 members, nothing to panic about. If it's hard, you can quit. This has nothing to do with your dream. Okay, Chun, just keep being yourself. Staying positive for no good reason is your best quality. Yeah. Okay, Iro. It's apparently under a table leg. Between the table leg and the chair. Okay, that's the only table, right? Oh, I think I see it. Yeah, I saw it. I found it. Let's go. Kimijima report number 4 obtained. Perfect. I'll just go ahead and read it now. There's no one to be found in this gigantic park. Makes sense. It was a park built for watching rocket launches after all. It's way too big. There are only a few pieces of playground equipment. Locals would never come here on a weekday. I lie down on the grass and pull up the report on my Pokécom. Here we go. Time for some shit. There's not a single company that is more familiar with propaganda than the Tavistock Institute. The Institute alone possesses at least 1 century's worth of research at minimum. The true value and purpose of such knowledge displayed itself in the 1900s during World War I and World War II. What the Institute does is guide individuals to follow in the direction of the group's will and to abandon their own success of such guidance can be attributed to the government's assistance during war times. But when utilized in times of peace, it proved far less effective. Realizing this, they withdrew and began research into subtly invade the unconscious of man in everyday life. Utilizing this knowledge, it becomes obvious that the Committee of 300 was able to control major media networks all over the world thanks to the connections with Tavistock. The subliminal messages one would find on various TV broadcasts, the ones that faced controversy for a time, were an immature prototype of propaganda that barely qualified as brainwashing. In recent years, they've abandoned such practices, instead electing to wait in the shadows for any opportunity to give the minds of men as they go out with their everyday lives. This is not something to be dismissed merely as someone else's problem. This is something that applies to you who are reading this report as well. You're in a position where you must take great caution in your everyday life. No matter where they lie, they'll erode everyone and everything. This battle is not being fought on a massive scale in a manner such as public opinion, but on the level of individual consciousness. You have to understand that ideas you thought you decided on your own volition were instead chosen for you while they peered into your thoughts. It is dangerous to trust your own thoughts 100% of the time. I'd recommend that you decentralize your thoughts to reduce the risk of brainwashing. My predictions are not ones that can be applied to the societal level, but only to the personal level. Although data sharing systems via cloud computing are essential to society's infrastructure, neither corporations nor media truly know the serious danger lurking within. Despite the fact that all risks were previously decentralized have now been concentrated in a single location, the standards of computer security remain unchanged. Because of this, major leaks of personal information are inevitable, and these standards must be acknowledged and addressed quickly in order to avoid such occurrences. Project Mars is, in essence, unaffiliated with Project Atom. It is merely a project running parallel to it, and both projects are authored by the Committee of 300. Should circumstances permit it, there is a chance both projects will be combined to perform simultaneous terrorist attacks. If that were to happen, human society would plunge deeper and deeper into chaos. As of 2009, Project Mars does not pose a threat. The project is still in its experimental stages, but within 10 to 20 years from now, the situation will undoubtedly change. I truly hope that society has not been inundated with the horrifying entities known as robots, but my fear lies in the fact that Tavistock Institute is capable of tricking every human being on Earth into believing their presence to be a popular trend, so such an event is indeed possible. The primary objective of Project Mars is a robotic uprising. It is a vulgar idea that seems as if it was ripped straight from a science fiction novel, bleh. But you cannot foolishly disregard it or laugh it off as such. Depending on the situation, robots could easily replace humans. If Project Atom were to fail in 2015, the next major solar storms are predicted to arrive in 2019 and 2020. After that, the sun will enter a period of stability for a short while. In other words, this period of maximum solar activity is a convenient trigger for the Committee of 300. It would not be an incorrect assumption to say that for the next decade, Earth will be a favorable testing ground for the Committee of 300. You need to be suspicious of abnormal weather phenomena and, if possible, collect data of any unusual instances that do occur. Such data will surely show traces of Tavistock. Interesting. What did I just read? Me too, buddy. Is it just me, or is Kimijima-ko the type who just rambles on and on for an eternity? Would it kill him to get to the damn point? Probably. That might have been what killed him. Do you not like to read, Yashio-san? I'm not a fan of reading or studying, so these reports have been especially demanding of me. And there's no more info in here about the exoskeleton company. That's honestly the only thing I cared about. That said, there were a few things that I found interesting. The possibility that the robot boom could have been the result of the Tavistock Institute's propaganda is quite intriguing. I mean, robots exploded in popularity over the last 10 years. People like to say that the Gun Barrel anime was the trigger for it all, but... Wait, weren't there subliminal messages hidden in the last episode of Gun Barrel? There is an eyelash trying to start a fight with me. I am going to fix that. Hang on, guys. The feel when it's the eyelashes' jobs to keep shit out of your eyes, and then they decide, I'm going to be in your eyes. It's not great. It's not a fun time at all. Which means that gun barrel itself could have been a vehicle for propaganda. But why? To make Project Whatever a success? How does that have anything to do with robots becoming more popular? Just like the reports said, the whole robot rebellion shtick was fake news, so... Any thoughts, Sister Centipede? Sister Centipede is not in a position to hold opinions on this matter. Thus, no comment. Well, great. This sucks. Maybe I should give Frau a call. The last time I saw her was back when the final episode leaked, which is about a month ago now. Sister Centipede, tell me about the next report's flags. Downloading unlock conditions, flags, to make Kimijima report number 5's AR annotation visible. Download complete. The flags for report number 5 are as follows. 1. Locate report number 4. Note from Sister Centipede. Flag number 1 has already been completed. 2. Run from point A to point B on the runway of the old Tanegashima airport in under 5 minutes. Damn. Please refer to the map of the specific locations of point A and point B. Hopefully it's something that Kai can actually run in 5 minutes. Please don't tell me it's actually from one end of the runway to the other. I'd actually die. Your prediction is correct. You must run approximately 1600 meters from one end of the runway to the other. Give me a break. Do you even know what my record was for the 1500 meter run back in junior high? Over 7 minutes. 7 minutes. It was literally second to last among my male peers. And there's no way I'm gonna shave 2 minutes off of that time. Plus, with my current health situation, I can't do intense exercise. Flag number 3. Sister Centipede completely ignores my sincere excuse and continues the blank expression on her face. Do a lap on the marathon track at Nakatane Central Athletic Park in under 60 seconds. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the hell is up with this set? Time to get fit, boy! What kind of hyper meathead series of flags is this? 4. Get a bullseye on a target at the Chuo Tanegashima High Kyudo Club Jojo. That is all. This might actually be the most difficult series of flags to date. The whole typhoon thing seems like child's play in comparison. There's no way to make a comeback here. I'm done for. Well, I guess with a bullseye, you could technically just, like, be at point blank and get the bullseye, maybe. But as for the running things, yeah, you're shit out of luck, buddy. As usual, never regarding the next report, number 6 is locked. My motivation is declining at a staggering rate. I don't even care anymore. Whatever happens, happens. I sigh and gaze up at the clouds as I stretch my arms and legs across the grass. Oh boy, Twips. Thanks, Kai. I'm gonna leave that to you. What kind of world do you wish for, big brother? Do we respond to this one? Yeah. Let's see, what are the options? A controlled, peaceful society. A chaotic, cruel society. A Moe-ruled society. A Moe-ruled is the correct answer. And that's the last Twippo to respond to for this phase. Played 3 minutes, 1-0. Guess I'll go. Boys have times when they need to do it. Flying from the runway, or just standing there. Actually, you take decides if you can make it beyond the sky. You probably know by now, but you read boys as men. Rather than that, can you buy soap? No problem, my lovely wife. That's funny. Juna's house is a karate dojo located in Masuda. It wasn't hard to find. I park my scooter in front of her house and take a breather. Why am I visiting Juna's house, you ask? Well, I'm here on official orders from Madam President. Hey, Kai. Do you think we can convince June to stay? Didn't she already go home for the day? She's probably relaxing at home by now. Aren't you worried? Every time I try to talk to her since yesterday, she's been really distant. At this rate, June's gonna quit before I even get the chance to talk it out with her. You had to look it up, but that's nearly a mile. I figured. In 5 minutes, according to runninglevel.com, even for a high school kid, that's elite level times. Yeah. Even with 1600 meters being less than a mile, it's kinda intense. Yeah. I read that right? I'll read it again just to be sure. At this rate, June's gonna quit before I even get the chance to talk it out with her. And we have no choice but to go to her house. Once we get there, we'll convince her to change her mind. We don't have school tomorrow, so if it comes down to it, we'll stay overnight. Hakiho. And what do you think? Sound good? Sounds like harassment. If you want me to tag along, you know the drill. Not again. What am I saying? That's just who you are. I really need Akio to realize that she's just not that great at talking it out. She's always forcing her will onto others without listening to them, and she wonders why her and the VP don't get along. In any case, I don't like wasting my precious time on other people's problems, even if that person is Juna. It's just not who I am. That being said, I think back on the photo I picked up in the storage room at the clinic. I'm gonna say Padaki-chan. I'll go talk to her. What? Are you gonna stay the night with her all alone? Akiho. Down. No, nothing like that. I'm not sure if I can change her mind, but I do have something I have to give back to her. You do whatever. You still have adjustments to make on Yoshiro-kun, right? Okay, fine. I leave Jin in your hands. Just promise me you'll bring her home. I'll be waiting. Didn't I tell you it's not like that? Come back in one piece. This is an order from the president. Got it? No, I don't get it. But whatever. And so, here we are now. I can hear the shouts coming from the karate class going on inside Juna's house. Wow, so her house really is the dojo. I could tell that quite a few kids train here. So where's Juna? Didn't she say she'd retired from karate? I guess she was only talking about the karate club. I still see her practicing kata by herself fairly often. In all likelihood, she's probably doing that in the dojo right now. I'll take a peek inside. The dojo's front desk is open, so it doesn't take much effort to take a quick peek. There are pairs of shoes strewn all over the place by the entrance. All children-sized. That'll be all for today. I hear an old man's stern voice mixed in with that of the children's. That might be Juna's father. This is followed by a lively "thank you" for the kids that echoed throughout the dojo. I could tell from outside that things are getting noisy in there. Is practice over? I quietly take another look. Ah. No. There she is. Just wearing her gi. She must have been training with the kids. Now that practice is over, she's surrounded by a bunch of them.
Hey, Klutzy, how's my straight punch? I'm so much faster now. Look, pish, pish. Pichu.
Mikihiro-kun, how many times do I have to tell you not to call me Klutzy? Hey, big sis, can you make snacks for us again? You're getting too much weight these days, Taikaki-kun. You'll have to stay away from sweets for a while, okay? I think they call you Klutzy because of your face, big sis Juna. You don't look much older than me, so you're easy to bully. Come on now. No, is that so? That's a good observation, Emiko-chan. But I can't really do anything about my face. See? You're always like that. That's why you're klutzy. If you were more tougher, you wouldn't look all weak and we wouldn't tease you. I mean, children are gonna be children, I guess, but sheesh. Stop talking to my sister like that, Emiko. You're just a white belt. It's okay, Masa-chan. I don't mind. But, I just want her to get even stronger at karate is all. Emiko-chan said she wants Big Sis Juna to become her real actual sister. Her sister? Nah, Big Sis is my Big Sis. Who cares? Hey, Klutzy, look at my straight to backhand combo. Swoosh! Yuah! Juna's surrounded by a bunch of kids who are all talking at once. At first, I thought she was being bullied by a bunch of grade schoolers for calling her Klutzy. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It's more like an affectionate nickname. She's basically everyone's kind older sister. Juna wears a somewhat strange smile on her face as she tries her best to listen to each and every one of the kids. Her sincerity must be what gravitates them all to her. Alright everyone, time to get changed. You better head home sooner or else your moms will get worried. Not only does she listen, but she also scolds the kids when she needs to. She's the responsible older student. Juna skillfully corrals the chatty children into the changing rooms in the back. It was then that she noticed me. Yashio-kun. How long have you been there? Since practice ended. I see. Juna starts fidgeting in embarrassment. I wish you would have said something. So, are you here? About the robotics club? For the most part, and also Doc. She falls silent. I get why she'd react like that. I guess I'll just do what I came here to do and bounce. As I reach into my pocket, the children come flooding from the changing rooms, ready to go home. Bye, Klutzy! Make me some snacks next time. Hey, look, it's Gina's boyfriend. Oh dear. What do you mean, boyfriend? Is it some kind of robot? Hello. I won't let you have her. Gina's my big sis. Emiko and Juna sitting in a tree. The children jeer at us by the door without reservation, as children tend to do, yes. I wasn't expecting to get teased by a bunch of grade school brats today. Fortunately, the storm has passed, or so I thought. Hey, you! The 3 boys are standing in front of me, still in their gis. The oldest one is probably a first year in junior high. He's pretty tall too, almost my height. He has a black belt wrapped around his waist. The middle one looks about the same age as the brats from earlier. He has a brown belt. And next to him is a chubby little boy, probably a bit younger. He has a white belt. They all stand there with their hands on their hips, staring at me angrily. They definitely look alike. Are they brothers? And wait, they kind of resemble Juno. Get away from Big Sis, you worm! Hey, yeah! He caught me completely off guard. The kid in the middle walked right up to me and socked me straight in the gut. I fall down on one knee from the sheer pain. Hey, Masa-chan, what do you think you're doing? Yashio-kun, are you okay? Well done, Masa. Get lost, stupid boyfriend. Get lost, worm. Get lost, squishy wormy worm. All of you, apologize this instant. How could you do this to my friend? I mean, he's your boyfriend, right? And boyfriends are worms. Stop bullying our sister. I guess that answers the question of would you still love me if I was a worm? Oh shit, that's what I'd actually named the last episode. Cause Juno was like really giving those vibes off. It's like, would you still love me if I was a worm? He's not my boyfriend, and he's not bullying me. Oh, the way her voice squeaked. Your bros are like little warriors. I want to go home. Fair. I'm not gonna last long against these 3 brutes. I'll get up, let his little punch slide with a warm smile, and then retreat ASAP. Or at least that was my plan. Juno. Dad. A ripped old man with a gorilla-like chest appears. He has a scar running from his forehead to his cheek. And the aura this guy gives off is extremely intimidating. How can this guy be the father of the tiny woodland creature known as Juno? How many times must I tell you? I'm your assistant instructor. When we are in the dojo, you will call me master. No, I'm sorry, master. That boy over there, is he your friend? Papa Gorilla glares at me Papa Gorilla glares at me fiercely. I hold in the pain from the punch to my stomach and bow my head.
His Yoshio-kun from the Robotics Club.
I see. What did I do to deserve being stared down by this monster of a dad? Please don't tell me he's gonna call me a worm and beat me up too. I want to do a 180 on the spot and sprint out of here right now. He came all this way to see you. Invite him in. How about having dinner with us? Or, like I said earlier, I prefer to head home ASAP. But I don't dare say that out loud. And so, not only did I end up meeting Juna's dad, I also ended up meeting her grandfather, the head instructor slash grandmaster. Cut to me sitting here with the entire Daitoko family. Aww. Cute. Given that I planned on heading home ASAP before, this was actual torture. The Daitoko family is full of dudes. You have the muscle monster that is Juna's dad, Daitoko Go. My internal nickname for him is Papa Gorilla. The bratty karate brothers are Toshi, the oldest, Masa the second oldest, and Shin the youngest. Sitting at the front is the white-haired head of the Daitoko Karate Dojo, Kengo. His nickname? Grandpa Polar Bear. Is this seconds, please? Masa-chan, how many times do I have to tell you to get your own seconds? Yeah, stop being lazy, Masa. Jeez, stop acting all stuck up just because your boyfriend's visiting. Masa-chan. Worm. Etsu-chin-chan. Juno's boyfriend, you say? That's just something I can let slide. No! Papa Gorilla slams his bowl down on the table loudly. Yoshio-kun, was it? Let's hear the details. Out with it. I could feel the thirst for blood all the way over here. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna snap my neck like a twig. There'll be no blocking this. The skill gap is too wide. Dad, please don't scare Yoshio-kun like that. Psh, Temp doesn't have to do anything. I could kick his ass all by myself. The oldest of the brothers starts to shadow box. Don't get cocky, Toshi. Underestimate your opponent and you risk everything. Toshi-chan, if you start a fight, I won't help you with your homework anymore. Jeez. Why are you taking your boyfriend's side? Yoshio-kun, answer my question. What are you to Juna? I'm just noticing how much rice the grandfather and father have in the background. So much rice. And that's enough, go. Grandpa Polar Bear interjects. Despite his age, he has a body of steel. Hell, he's even bigger than Papa Gorilla. He might as well be the final boss. Gotta pack those calories, so true, but still, just mountains of rice back there. Can you not see that Yoshio-kun is terrified? It's actually Yoshio, not Yoshiro. But I don't dare correct him. My apologies, Yoshiro-kun. Juna's dad bows deeply. But... so... He then immediately leans towards me. Tell me, what are your intentions? About what? You're dating Juna, are you not? In that case, do you intend on inheriting the Daitoko Dojo as my son-in-law? I know this is technically the Juna ending, holy shit. Do you? Or do you not? I feel like I'm gonna piss myself under this intense pressure. Why does he even need a son-in-law to inherit the dojo when he has 3 talented sons? Come on, I already told you it's not like that. If you don't stop joking around, I'm gonna get mad, Dad. This is an important issue that affects the fate of our dojo. Enough, my son. Do not make me repeat myself. The old man quietly opens his mouth, and then takes a sip of miso soup. Soup. Leave the young ones to themselves. It's not but foolishness for us older ones to interfere. Go. It is the right to all younglings to enjoy a steamy adolescence. His cheeks are kind of red. So he's just an old perv. But Grandmaster, the heir to the Daitoku School of Martial Arts must be strong. Act with simplicity afforded to bring forth great virtue. That is the Daitoku family creed.
Dad, don't spit all over the food.
What year are we in again? I feel like I got sucked into some old martial arts film. I need Juna's help. Fast. She has to be more clear about where we stand. Otherwise, I'm actually gonna end up getting adopted into her family. Oh, and if possible, I like to get up and escape ASAP. I think I'll do Juna with my eyes. She notices me, but instead of answering my plea, she just smiles in response.
Oh, Yoshio-kun. Do you want seconds? Eat as much as you want. I hope it tastes good.
And that's not what I'm trying to say. I mean, yes, it's true, the table's covered in all sorts of amazing food. Chicken salad, dried flying fish, boiled spinach, and even Okinawa cuisine like chanpuru and Vanguard mozuku. It's insane to think this family can down it all in one sitting. But what's also insane is that Juna made it all herself. But to be perfectly honest, I'm too nervous to even try any of it. There's no time. This is no time to be eating dinner. I barely even touched my rice bowl. Why would she think that I wanted seconds? Yashiro-kun, was it? Nope, still Yashio. Please allow me to apologize for our rudeness. The old man bows his head. However, my son's point still stands. Juna is but a single flower blooming in the Daitoku family garden. Thus... The old man's eyes explode open. Oh dear. If you wish to take Juna's purity, you must demonstrate your strength right here and now.
Grandpa, what are you saying?
Great. Even the old man's contributing to this insanity now. How belligerent can these people be?
You guys are the worst. No dinner for any of you tomorrow.
What? Don't say that. Juna. Perhaps I've gone too far. Please don't be upset. And just like that, they've all turned into spineless little boys in response to Juna's threat. Food's important, man. Valid. You know what? She might actually be the strongest person in this whole family. I'm fine with skipping dinner. Damn, Toshi. Toshi, the oldest brother, is still worked up. He's pointing his chopsticks at me now. I'm his mortal enemy now, I guess.
Toshi-chan, don't point at people with your chopsticks. It's bad manners, and it's just plain rude.
Shut it. I won't let you have my big sister. She's gonna be ours forever and ever.
Do it, bro. Beat him up. Yeah.
I get it now. These little punks love their big sister so much that they don't want anyone to take her from them. They're just a bunch of little punks with sister complexes. Fine, I got the drift. How about this? I challenge you to a match, Toshi-kun. Oh, Yashiro-kun has agreed to a duel. Like the backbone for someone his age.
Yashiro-kun, you don't have to play along with this craziness.
I don't mind. I like a good challenge. But I do have one condition. A condition? What is it? We'll settle this battle my way. I whip out my Pokecom with all the swagger I can muster. We'll have our battle with this. The Daitoku man falls silent in response to my declaration. Fair. By the time I leave Juna's house, it's already dark out. Oh boy, Akiho made a tweet.
Hi, how'd the mission go? Let me know when you're done.
Jin-chan's food was good. Phew, I was nervous. I was more nervous than that Robo one. I love the Daitoku boys by the nose. Let's go with the middle one. I was more nervous than that Robo one.
We went from Chofu to Akihabara on the bike. It was easy since there weren't small ups and downs like in Tanegashima. Riding Tokyo was stressful because of all the cars. I didn't used to care before though. Looks like it's only took a month for my body to get used to the atmosphere on the island. Yashio-kun, I'm really sorry.
Juna bows to me apologetically after coming to see me off.
My family can be a lot.
It's fine. They got the message in the end, so I'm not worried about it. So, here's how it went down. After challenging them at Kill Ballad, the brothers truly fell in line. As expected, the three of them all played KB. By the end of the day, they're just kids. Their eyes lit up after seeing the second best player in the world go to town. I had them call me master before I knew it. The older men went on about lewd nonsense and the traditions of a martial arts family, but they went quiet once Juna scolded them. At least they now know that I'm not her boyfriend, so all is well that ends well. Until you end up being her boyfriend anyway.
I'm so sorry.
Hopefully next time I can relax and actually enjoy your cooking.
Of course. You're welcome anytime. Plus, my brothers seem to really like you.
To be honest, I was pretty surprised. You're totally different around your family.
No, yeah, I guess. Mom's not here anymore, so I'm the only woman in the house. And as you saw, we're just a bunch of karate muscle heads. If I didn't handle the chores, we'd all fall apart. So, I just naturally get like that when I'm at home. I guess I'm a lion at home and a mouse abroad, huh?
You've really got your stuff together, Jun-chan. And you should be more like yourself at school and in club too.
I can't do that.
Juna hurriedly shakes her head.
I can only be that way because they're my family. Normally, I'm always nervous.
Man, I'd be exhausted if I were that way 24/7. But if she says she can't do it, she can't do it. Anyhow, time to cut to the chase. I didn't come all the way here today to get to know the Daitoku family. So, are you sure you're gonna quit the Robotics Club?
Yeah.
Juno smiles lonesomely and hangs her head low. I think you will be better off without me. I want you guys to repair Yoshiro-kun and make Grandpa Vegeta feel better. I still think Doc would be happiest if you came to cheer him up yourself, Jun-chan. She shakes her head in response. I can't. You saw me the other day, didn't you? I'm still scared. It's been years since the accident, so I thought it'd be over it by now, but... I was a mess. As soon as I heard that robot's voice, it all came flooding back. I was so scared that I started shaking uncontrollably. Even now, Juno looks like she's on the verge of tears. She hugs her arms close to her body. Plus, I don't think Grandpa Vegeta wants to see me. I'm the one that broke Yoshiro-kun. He's probably still mad about that. You think? I think it'd be over it by now. But he refused to see us when we went to visit him the other day. And I've always avoided seeing him too, so... Grandpa probably thinks I'm an awful granddaughter. It'd be weird if he didn't. I think you're being a bit hard on yourself, Jin-chan. By the way, I don't know if you've heard this from Aki-chan, but... Yoshiro-kun was broken when we found him in storage, but that's because its cables had been cut deliberately. Huh? And the body was dented and the eye was cracked, but a robot like that wouldn't stop working because of a little fall. But who would snip his cables? Doc, I suppose. All the other robots were like that too. Why? Who knows? Either way, Doc stopped putting the robots out in front of the store after the accident. Maybe he felt responsible for hurting his beloved granddaughter. And ever since then, he sealed away his own beliefs and disabled all the robots so no one else could get hurt. Or something like that. His own beliefs? You know, the whole robots are the friends of mankind thing. Either way, it's still my fault. And if I hadn't snuck into a storage space way back then... I mean, you can play the tragic heroine all you want, but... I'm intentionally cold as I take the photo out of my bag. I present it to Juno. This photo... I found it on the floor in the storage room. This is... me. How about you take a good long look at this picture and take some time to think. Nope, I'm out. I'm out my scooter that I parked in front of Juno's house. Thanks for dinner. Despite me calling out to her, Juno stays perfectly still as she stares at the photo, dumbfounded. POV change. Doing a POV. Excuse me. I've managed to enter the faculty room, but it's not long before I freeze up. I didn't do anything wrong, nor did I do anything that would make anyone mad. Or at least I don't think I have. But despite that, there's this unwelcoming aura filling the room, and it's making me want to run away. The teachers are busy with work and are paying me no mind. I came here to see Mr. Nakafukada, but I don't know where his desk is. Is it okay for me to just wander in? I stand on my tiptoes to look and see if I can spot the top of his head, but I'm just too short, so I give up trying. What should I do? The more anxious I get, the more confused I become. I'll just step out for now and come back during lunch or something. But as soon as I turn to the right...
Huh?
I come face to face with the vice principal who just walked in through the door. Good morning. I'm flustered, but I still managed to bow my head. Daitoku-san, what are you doing here? Huh? The vice principal knows my name? I wanted to talk to Mr. Nakafukada. I see. Mr. Nakafukada. She turns to the center of the staff room and calls out for him on my behalf. But I really wish she wouldn't yell so loudly. Everyone's looking at us now. I follow her gaze and catch Mr. Nakafukada standing up near the window. After bowing deeply to the vice principal, I keep my head lowered and jog toward Mr. Nakafukada's desk. Good morning, Mr. Nakafukada.
Oh,
if it ain't Daitoku. What's up? I can't read your mind, little lady. I'm no whisper. That's a pro tip. Got it memorized? I hate Michi. Yeah. Okay, I don't really hate him, but I do hate reading as him. He's annoying. Mr. Nakafukada is not an Esper. Mr. Nakafukada is not an Esper Daitoku, no! Mr. Nakafukada? I lick my lips. It's taking all the courage in the world to get the words out. I'm not used to asking teachers for favors like this. Can I see the video? What video? A sexy one. Michi. I can feel my face start to get hot and I violently shake my head. What video? A workout movie or something? No, not that. The video of Model 1-kun's test run from the other day. I'm fairly certain Mr. Nakafukada recorded the whole thing. Oh, that. Can I see it, please? Yeah, sure. Hold up. He pulls up the video on his Pokecom. Uncle really gave me an earful because you didn't pilot that thing, you know. I'm sorry. Come to think of it, I haven't seen the president since that day. He must be really angry.
It'll be really awkward with him now.
まずあれ。
Grab a seat.
The teacher who normally sits next to him is nowhere to be seen. Mr. Nagafukata suggests I take their seat. I am a little hesitant, but I sit down nonetheless. He then hands me his Pokecom.
コピーしたのは
I'll send you a copy later. Show it to the little Sennomi and the others too. I forgot to give it to you all.
Okay. I nod as I look at the screen. It's a sunny day at the old airport. That same summer day when the massive Model 1 Kun walked on his own 2 feet. Why did I want to see this video? It's all because of the photo that Yoshio-kun gave me. For just a second, I see a figure that looks like Grandpa Vegeta on the corner of the video. He was there that day too. I guess that's obvious. He did help make the ports for Model 1 Kun after all. But back then, I was so preoccupied with not piloting Model 1 Kun that I didn't think about anything else. I was freaking out. It's almost like I couldn't even see the robot. No, not just the robot. I couldn't see anything around me. And I didn't even realize that Grandpa was there. The video I'm watching has sound as well. I can hear the spectators chattering among themselves. There were so many people that came to see us that day. In the end, they all started complaining because Model 1 Kun barely moved, when the test was brought to a sudden and abrupt end. I wonder what they were thinking before the test started. And that's what I wanted to know. Since that many people came out, they must have been excited, right? I turn up the Pokecom's volume and put my ear to it. Most of the video sound is incoherent noise, making it hard to pick up what anyone is saying. But once in a while, the mic managed to pick up the voices of some children nearby. It looks so lame.
It's so big. If that thing actually moves, it'll be awesome. No bad guys are gonna mess with us now. What if it could use weapons? Boom, swoosh. Gun Barrel doesn't use weapons. Gun Barrel fights with his fists. I wanna ride it. If that thing ran, it'd cause an earthquake for sure. But man, it looks so lame. It's lame, but it's huge. The camera occasionally looks toward a group of boys. I spy Mikihi Owa-kun among them, one of my kids from karate. They all look like they're having a blast, happily staring up at Model 1 Kun. Judging from their voices, I can hardly wait for Model 1 Kun to activate. And that's how they look.
見てたんですね。
あ、何がだ
Nah, what's up? I'm not burping, but burp. Apparently.
I guess I interrupted Mr. Nagafukata's breakfast. He gulps down some incredibly thick milk. He must have mixed it with protein powder or something.
見学に来ていた
I'm talking about the people who came to watch that day. And not just the children. And the elderly who dropped by who looked like they came straight from a farm or something. And they're wearing all kinds of hoods and sun visors. And they're all waiting for the test to begin while drinking tea out of their canteens. Most of them are smiling. Some of them are fighting off the glaring sun. Others are simply watching in admiration. Some look stunned. Each and every face has a unique expression, but they're all looking up at the giant Model 1 Kun. Not a single person is scared. Yeah, the complaints start coming in once the test starts. But even the children are watching and laughing at Model 1 Kun as it walks along ever so slowly. "I'm faster than you," one boy cries as the kids start lining themselves alongside Model 1 Kun and racing it. The elderly continues smiling and admiring the robot. An older man who's been drunk since the morning yells, "Do a better job!" But even he's holding his stomach in laughter. While watching the video, I finally notice. Why? Why am I tearing up? And I've never felt like this before. My emotions are all over the place. Is this where I should cry? I don't know, but it's just happening naturally. I can't help but hug the Pokécom close to my chest and wipe my tears away. Hey, Grandpa Vegeta? Is this what you wanted to see? Is this what you spent 10 long years waiting to see? Robots are the friends of mankind. When I was a child, did I destroy that dream? Have you gone to see Doc since he got hospitalized? Huh? Mr. Nagafukada asks me. After I shake my head, he starts stretching in his chair. Then he cracks his neck. You know, Doc blames himself. You hear me, Daitoku? That cranky old man's been blaming himself for a real long time now. I thought robots could be mankind's friends, but it was nothing but conceited. His words. That's what he said to me the other day. But I think the fact that he thinks he was conceited is conceited in and of itself. That's a pro tip. Ding dong bing bong. And the bell rings, so I take my leave. I don't quite understand Mr. Nagafukada's pro tip, but I do know that my chest is tightening after hearing that Grandpa Vegeta has been blaming himself all this time. And you know what? It didn't surprise me. Maybe somewhere deep inside I already knew. After getting home, I sit in the empty dojo after practice ended and stare down at the photo Yoshio-kun gave me. I slowly slip it out of its frame. A much younger me. Grandpa Vegeta, who looks pretty much the same as he does now. And Yoshiro-kun, whose face is a lot cleaner than it is now. And the three of us are smiling brightly. There you are, Juno. How's supper coming along? Dad pokes his head into the dojo, a concerned expression on his face. Oh, this photo. Talk about a blast from the past. Master. My eyes locked on the photo and decided to ask him. That is fine. What is it? Dad, can you tell me about the day I got injured at the robot clinic? What did Grandpa Vegeta say back then? Well, your grandfather was in tears when he found you crushed beneath his robot. What have you done? He yelled. Who was he yelling at? Me? No, he was angry at the robot. Aww. Actually, perhaps that isn't true. He was angry at himself for allowing a robot to hurt a child.
for letting
自
one
分を
hurt
責め
you.
ていたよ。
It feels like a knife is piercing through my chest. What about now?
今はどうなのかな。
あるいは
He may
今も
very
責
well
め
still
続けてい
blame
るかも
himself.
しれんな。入院してから
You
お
went to
前のお
visit
見
him
舞いに
after
来
he
た
was
ことがあったと。
hospitalized, yes?
会えなかったと
You told me he
言ってたよ。
couldn't see you,
今さら合わせる
and
顔
that
が
he
ない
was
と
too
な。
ashamed of himself to do it.
We're the same. Grandpa Vegeta and I are exactly the same. Ever since the accident, it's been awkward between us. We started avoiding each other only a little bit at first, but before we knew it, we hadn't seen each other in 10 years. The me in this photo looks so happy, and so does Grandpa Vegeta, and so does Zilshiro-kun. We all look incredibly close. This is all my fault.
私なのに。おじいちゃんも
And Grandpa and Yoshiro-kun didn't do
Yoshiro-kun
anything wrong.
悪くなってないのにね。
Can I fix this? Can we be close again like we used to be? I don't know, but if I run away now, I know I'll be empty for the rest of my life. And for the first time ever, I don't want that. Waiting around won't fill the hole in my heart. No. Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to get some water. And you guys should also do the same. It's been like a couple hours-ish since we started. So if you do not have a beverage, take care of yourselves. If we're not gonna throw this up, and I shouldn't be gone for very long. You guys are used to the drill by now, I'm sure. Hang tight.
My plan to grab water has backfired because there was no water to grab from the fridge. I have since put a couple of waters in the fridge and I have one in the freezer. For now I grabbed non-water. But I will switch it out for water later. But that way I still have something while I wait for the water to get cold because you can't drink not cold water. Yay! The aroma of disinfectant permeates throughout the hallway of the hospital. Emersa's shoes clack against the ground as she hurries along ahead of us.
What are we supposed to do if we get killed, huh?
Nagio shoots me a rather disturbing question as she walks beside me. You shouldn't say stuff like that outside a hospital.
I'm not being literal. But knowing Doc, even though he's sick and all, he could probably still beat us up.
Probably, yeah. You scared?
Yeah.
Come on, Aki-chan. You're the only one in the robotics club. You're the only one in the robotics club who's on good terms with Doc.
Good terms is maybe an overstatement. He yells at me all the time.
He yells at you because he cares. We're finally ready to execute our plan to cheer up Doc today. Which is why we're here at the hospital. Doc's now accepting visitors, so people are afraid to come and go. We stand in front of the door to his room. Akeo pokes me in the shoulder.
Kai, you go on in first.
No, after you, Aki-chan.
But I'm banned from the robot clinic.
Fine. Yada yada. With no other options, I prepare the worst to knock on the door.
Aye.
Who's there? I can hear Doc's dead response from the other side of the door. Hello. Doc's lying on his bed. He glances over at Akio and I for a second, and immediately looks back out the window. No, it's just you punks. His voice lacks the usual oomph.
Doc, is it just me? Or have you shrunk?
Whoa, Akio, you can't say something like that. It's super rude. But Doc doesn't retort like he usually does. If this was the Doc before he got ill, we'd have a wrench flying at us right about now. And that being said, Akio's statement is fairly accurate. The Doc lying in bed in his pajamas is a far cry from the energetic old man who always yells at us over the counter at the clinic. He looks like he's aged several decades in just the last week. You're looking pretty beat up, Doc. And if you're just here to laugh at me, then leave.
Are you going to have surgery?
He's probably been asked this question dozens of times by now. Doc doesn't even try to answer. He's made up his mind. Well, we're not here to talk about anything serious today. There's something we want to show you, Doc. So, would you mind coming with us? What? Doc looks at us suspiciously. Hey, escort. What do you think you're... I've already got permission from Dr. Sayagusa to take you on a little outing. All you have to do is hop in the wheelchair. I'll take it from there. Where are you taking me? To the robot clinic, of course. Upon hearing what I said, Doll looks away. I'm closing up shop for good. I've already made my decision. It's not like I was turning a profit to begin with. Barely anyone ever came. Just folks coming to complain about how the neon sign was sketchy, and I should take it down and the like. At the end of the day, it was a store nobody wanted or needed. So this is a good time and as any good riddance. Talk. Akiko suddenly jumps in. Doc's still in bed as she approaches him. I know you don't mean that. You couldn't possibly have kept running the clinic for 20 years if you really felt that way. And you kept it open because you loved that store. You kept going because you loved that store. Even I can see that. So don't say stuff like that. Even if you're lying. Don't you dare say anything like that again. Without that store, I'd be so lonely. Be that as it may, I ain't going. I don't know what you punks are scheming, but I ain't coming with you. Stubborn old man. Your robots are waiting for you. Doc's face turns pale in response to what I just said. We've got him now. You can't. You went in there, didn't you? I'm never taking them out ever again. I can't let that happen. What did you do while I was here? No, take a chill pill. I don't want your blood pressure getting in the way of our little adventure. To put it simply, all we're doing is recreating how the robot clinic was when it first opened up. You damned fools! How about you go see with your own two eyes whether we're fools or not? Grr. Let's roll, Doc. I pull in the wheelchair I left outside of the room and point at it. I have a wicked grin on my face. I don't mind playing the bad cop. Your move, Doc. After about 3 minutes of complete silence, Doc begrudgingly clicks his tongue and relents. It's only about a 10-minute walk from the hospital to the robot clinic. After Doc changed his clothes, we headed up the long straight slope of Highway 58. The robot clinic is a ways down after turning the corner at the Hase intersection. It's right on the border of Nakatane and Minimaitane. Its exterior looks like some sort of American bar or motel, and the gaudy neon sign illuminates the night with a sketchy glow. I've thought this ever since I first saw it, but man oh man is this design unappealing. We wheeled Doc all the way to the store. As he reached the storefront, Doc seems to notice that something is different. He leans forward with such force that he nearly tumbles out of his wheelchair. Hey, Robotics Club. What the hell is the meaning of this? Sorry, I just noticed there's Twips. Hello, Twips. Alright, I'm ready. Go, no go's decision will be a go. Play 30 min, 7-0. Ready to go. What I can do, what I want to do. I don't know clearly, but... Heading over now. Yesterday, students were enthusiastically watching the footage I took. Finally, there are students who understand the hardships of being a cameraman at events. You get my recording skills right? I get it. Pro tip. The most important thing about recording footage is to keep the camera running. I mean... I guess that's not entirely wrong. More subliminal messages discovered beside the 19 found so far in the final episode of Gunvarrow. I processed the subliminal footage so it's easier to view, and I found something curious. Looks like there were more subliminal messages inserted in the 19 we found. I'll explain it easier. For example, you know where Fukuzawa Yukichi was, right? That was full of video distortion, so I got rid of that, did some contrasting, then ran it frame by frame. When I did that, it changed to a different images that wasn't Yukichi. English, please. Nihongo de Hokai. There's subliminal messages in the subliminal messages. That isn't your mistake. Like you forgot to turn off something. Or maybe it's a mistake made by whoever made the subliminal messages. Not just in Japan, but Gunvarrow fans all over the world were analyzing the final episode. How would they not notice the subliminal messages inside the subliminal messages for over a month? Wait a sec. I just did some research too, and there is something hidden. Are you for real? So there were more than 19 subliminal messages? It really is an instant. With the distortion on, you would miss it for sure. Whoever found it at first is amazing. I watch it over and over, but still don't see it. Did you know, even though this video is full of distortion, it's actually 120 FPS and not 60 FPS? 120 FPS? Then one frame is to 0.007 seconds. If it was inserted in that frame, there's a chance that you can miss it. Hey, do you think it's safe to continue on? This is giving off a serious vibe. This was a challenge for the person who uploaded it. I feel some kind of unity. Hey, Robotics Club, what the hell is the meaning of this? Without leaning back, he turns his head to glare at me and Akiho. I thought I already told you. We tried to recreate the look of the robot clinic when it first opened. Robots are the friends of mankind, right, Doc? And there's a line of old robots out in front of the clinic. In the center, standing conspicuously, is the blue square body of Yoshiro-kun. Thick arms and legs, wide eyes, and a mouth bent into a smile. The patrol lights of its eyes, mouth, ears, and chest are all lit up. The arms move up and down at regular intervals. Yoshiro-kun stands before us today as the fruit of Akiho's hard work. The only thing she couldn't fix was the dent in the corner of the body. And it's not just him. While they're not moving like Yoshiro-kun is, the other 8 robots are all lined up next to him. Neighborhood children are crowded around them. They're chattering away about how the robots are ugly, old, cute. You get the idea. The kids are just speaking their minds, plain and simple. They aren't holding back either. The children are going nuts with the robots, leaving smudges and fingerprints all over them. Michi and Mizuka-san went over to the elementary school and told the kids they could see some old robots. They were worried they wouldn't be able to get enough kids, but in the end, about 20 were interested enough to show up. Michi, Mizuka-san, and the teachers are watching them. Seeing the kids smile is enough to make the adults smile too. But Doc is different. No. You can't. He finally stands up, staggering toward the children with a ghastly expression on his face. Don't let the kids near those things. They'll hurt them. You'll make the kids cry. Robots are just robots, nothing more. No matter how much you care about them, they can never be your friends. They're just hunks of metal. They can't play with the kids. They do nothing but hurt them. They're not even fit to be toys. That's why they need to be locked away forever. Please, don't make them move anymore. Please, just stop it. Everyone go home. At once! As he sadly cries out. The dog crumbles to his knees, crestfallen. And children all fall silent when they finally notice Doc. I don't want to make children cry anymore. I don't want robots to be villains anymore. Everyone would be happier if kids and robots were kept apart.
ドク
Doc. Could he be? I think he's crying. In the end. That accident 11 years ago didn't just hurt Juna. No, it may have left Doc with far deeper wounds in his heart. His remorse was so strong that he sealed away his belief that robots were the friends of mankind. But we still got one last chance to turn this around. Isn't that right, Yoshiro-kun? In the middle of this silence, a rusty metallic sound begins to ring out. Yoshiro-kun, its eyes and ears still lit up, begins to walk. Its stride is a little unsteady, and as it moves down the gravel path, its whole body shakes. Even so, it manages to adjust itself as it moves toward Doc, almost like it has a will all of its own. Yoshiro. Doc looks at Yoshiro-kun, dumbfounded, as if to answer Doc.
こんにちは
Konnichiwa.
僕の
Hello,
名前は
my name is Yoshiro.
Yoshiro-kun greets him. You. The robot comes to a slow stop right in front of Doc. It can't move its head, so Yoshiro-kun can only continue to look off into the distance.
みんなの
I'm everyone's robot friend.
だよ
But its words are clearly directed at Doc.
ね
Hey,
え握
let's
手しよう
shake
よ
hands.
As it calls to Doc, the light in its eyes start blinking intensely. It moves its arms up and down. It very clearly has a will of its own, and it wants to shake hands with its creator. Doc's frozen in place.
ね
Hey,
え握
let's
手しよ
shake
うよ
hands.
His son encourages him with the same words, and almost as though he's seeking a hand of salvation, a hand of forgiveness, Doc extends his own hand. His wrinkled hand comes into contact with a thick blue robot hand. I don't know why, but after seeing that, it feels like Yoshiro-kun looks happy even though its expression remains unchanged.
よろしくね
Nice to meet you,
藤田のおじいちゃん
Grandpa Vegeta.
You called my name. How?
新しく
We breathed some new life into him. That's how.
Nakaiho triumphantly explains.
ドクの息子にね
You see,
ドクの
you
孫
programmed
娘
yourself
が
to say the same thing your granddaughter did in the
新
past.
しく吹き込んだの
My granddaughter. Doc suddenly starts to look around. Juna's behind one of the robots. She's hiding in the shadow of Gojiro-kun. She hesitantly, nervously, shows herself to Doc. In her hand is a controller. Naturally, it's Yoshiro-kun's remote control.
よろしくね
Nice to meet you.
Her voice is so quiet that it feels like it could disappear at any moment. She's still looking down. But nevertheless, Juna stands next to Yoshiro-kun, a clumsily made robot that's over 2 meters tall, and a small, childlike, timid, yet tough 18-year-old girl. Their extremes complement each other well.
よろしくね
It's nice to meet you again,
藤田の
Grandpa Vegeta.
おじいちゃん
This time, Juna raises her head steadily. She looks Doc right in his eyes, just as Yoshiro-kun did before her. She then extends her slender hand to him. You forgive me, Jun.
謝らなく
You
ちゃ
don't
い
have
け
to
ないの。
apologize. I'm the
私
one
の
who should be sorry.
こうだから。
And there are already tears in Juna's eyes. And the tips of her fingers are shaking as she extends her hand to Doc. And yet, she wears a warm smile on her face.
ごめんね。
I'm so sorry,
おじいちゃん。
Grandpa.
今はまだ
Even now, I'm still a little scared,
怖いけど。
but starting now, I want to like Yoshiro-kun and the others
吉野君のことも
again.
他の子たちのこともまた
Aw.
好きになっていくからきっとまた
I'm sure we can all be
お
friends
友達にな
again.
るからそれまで
And I want you to live to see that, Grandpa.
生きててほしい
Aw.
お願い
So please.
おじいちゃんね
Okay.
Jun.
June. Aww.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
ありがとう。
Thank you. Juna crouches down as Doc breaks into tears. The two of them are holding each other's hands tightly.
Alright.
The moment she sees the pair reconcile, Akiho runs over to them, completely failing to read the mood, as Akiho does. The kids here are watching in silence are freed from the tension and start playing with their robots again. How's that for a turnabout? Robots are the friends of mankind, huh? It won't take long for this place to get noisy with the sounds of random kids, just like at Juna's house. Maybe I'll check it out someday, I thought to myself. And not just Yoshiro-kun. I want to see the other 8 robots, Gojiro-kun included, moving around again and greeting visitors. And as long as the robot doctor stays in good health, I know that no matter what happens, I'll see it one day. Aw, that was really cute and wholesome. Oh, there's Subaru. Okay. So, it's the 3rd of October in game now. And it says, on October 3rd, check tweets for surprise. That was in the guide, and I am concerned as to what the surprise could potentially be. Bloop, hello Nigiri, you just missed a really touching wholesome moment. You missed the feelings. But what is the surprise on Twippo?
Everyone in Robotics Club, thank you.
This is the result of your hard work. You should be proud of yourself. Oh, you're here for the feelings? Wonderful. If you feel like you now like robots, even just a little bit, you can undo your club quitting notification. All I did was get treated by your cooking and get picked up Doc at the hospital. True. Nah. The feelings were feelings. So true.
Thank you.
I think I have talent as an event producer, like a wedding planner. Well, I don't plan on being one though, because my dream is to build a robot. Back to being yourself again. It was your achievement, that's why you're the club president. I think the whole island should clear your talent, probably. And just back to being yourself again.
Speaking of, it's already October. Gotta start building Gun Build too. From Sister Centipede to Yoshio-san, I would like to introduce someone perfect for your hobby. He's an old online friend, and his name is Lightning Fast Needheart. I think you'd get along.
Huh? From Robot Doctor. We're scheduled to start business here at the Robot Clinic. Come say hello. None of this seems quite like a surprise yet, so... Now that we've hit October, it's really starting to feel like autumn. It's too chilly at night for short sleeves now. And the wind is starting to get a little cool too. I see. So that's what happened. Lucky was telling the grand story about what happened between Juna and Doc, which is really exaggerating it. Subaru brushes her off, though. However, the question still stands about whether or not we could continue to use the clinic for the construction of Prototype Model 2. In a way, he owes you. Please make use of that to persuade him to help with Model 2's creation. I get that he's a realist and all, but jeez, dude. Man, do you feel anything at all, Subaru? I bet you're the type who outright refuses to cry while watching a sad movie. That is correct. Grr. Alcione, Electra, Maya. Stop that! Akiho has mastered the art of teasing Subaru lately. Wonderful. 10 out of 10. She wears a satisfied grin on her face as she watches him squirm. More importantly, the design is basically complete. Upon arrival with the materials, we'll begin construction. We might have to start on mocap and programming work soon as well. Does Doc go, I feel like they're mostly just even now, and that's not even getting to the cost of parts and such. Well, they've paid him back for the cost of parts, and him helping with Model 1 was more of specifically to, Akiho's sister, rather than Akiho herself. So, shrugs. No, right, I forgot. Akiho turns to me. And when do you think Jin will come back to the Robotics Club? Why is she asking me? She wasn't at club yesterday because she went to check up on Doc, right? Yeah, it's been 10 years. I'm sure they have a lot to catch up on. And the problem is when she'll come back to the Robotics Club. We put her through a lot with this whole robot clinic thing. You don't say. Who says she'll even come back in the first place? Huh? What do you mean? Didn't she submit her resignation? I forgot. What should we do? I didn't accept it from her, but... I wanted June to really fall in love with robots more and more. Oh, Akiho. I plan to raise her to be my rival, someone who would be my equal, someone who could discuss the gun barrel properly with me. Or raise her? Not to mention becoming Akiho's rival required an absolute absurd level of knowledge. How many years is she planning on taking? Plus, Jin's one of us. And if she's going to worry about things on her own, I'd rather she come to us. We could toss and turn about it together. And then at the end of it all, we'd all go running off into the sunset. And the sun isn't even close to setting. Isn't that what friends are for? Right, Kai? Subaru? Needless to say, neither I nor Subaru can keep up with Akiho's absurdly high enthusiasm, so I just smile awkwardly. Not that Akiho even cares about how you respond. Alright, with that settled, we're going over to see June. I'm gonna drag her worries right out of her. Actually, I've never really consulted a friend about their problems or anything like that before. Hey, Kai, how should I go about it? What, you really expect me to have an answer? I have even less friends than Akiho.
true. Hey, Subaru.
悩み相談なんて
I don't see the need to
必要ないんじゃ
console anyone. Okay, edgelord. Sheesh. At least Kaida is just friendless. Subaru coldly delivers his words and stands up.
今日のところは僕
I'll
は
be
帰り
going
ます
home for today.
ちょっと
Wait a sec.
なんでそんな人事
Why
な
are
の
you treating this like it's someone else's problem? Your upperclassman needs your help.
あの人もかつ
That
て
person
こう言っ
once
てた
said. I can't stand to idly by and ignore an ally in obvious trouble.
だからもっと一
So
緒に
let's
考え
figure
よう
this
よ
out together.
これは
President's
部長命令
orders.
Subaru barely looks like he's listening, so Akihoko is chasing after him while shouting. After seeing them off, I set up camp underneath my usual tree in the courtyard. There's only one thing to do. I beat up Kill Ballad on my Pokecom. She'll be back soon enough. Then we'll move to the hangar. How many matches can I get in before then? I'm not sure how much time has passed since I started playing. Suddenly, a shadow appears over my hands.
ヤシオくん
And what are you up
何や
to,
ってるの？
Yashio-kun?
I say nothing until my Pokecom toward the source of the voice.
ああゲーム
You're playing a game.
本当に
You sure do love your video games.
Once I win my match, I look up at her. Gina wears a smile on her face as she peeks at my screen.
今日はドクのところにはいた
You aren't going to see Doc today?
うん
Not today.
藤田のおじいちゃん
Grandpa Vegeta had
秋穂ちゃんに
a message for Akiho-chan.
伝言を頼まれて
どんなで
What is it?
退院したら
When I get out of the hospital, the robot doctor is gonna be back in business. You'd better be ready.
No.
だって
And that was it.
あとね
Oh, and he also said
俺の裏の顔
the
は
true robot doc is a rock and roll remodeler who's ready to rock.
ドクのやつ
It sounds like Doc's gotten a second wind. And what does he mean by remodeler? Remodeling, duh. And what happened to the whole robots being mankind's friend thing? I get the feeling things are about to get a whole lot more terrifying around here. A chilly breeze rustles the leaves above my head. Jenna seems cold as she rubs her arms. But she makes no attempt to leave.
それで
So,
純ちゃんは吹っ切れ
what
た
about you? I shoot her the question as she looks up at the sky. It's probably just me, but it looks like she's glowing.
私
I want to
変わ
change.
ろうって思ったのもっとね
I want to learn more about my friends. And I want to like them.
知ろうって
And that's what I've decided.
好きになろうって決めたんだただ待ってるだけ
And
と
there are
か
lots of things I'll never know. All I do is wait for answers
わからない
or do what others tell me to
い
do.
っぱいあるはずだからあと
Plus,
ヤシオくん
I
や
owe you an
アキホちゃん
Akiho-chan.
借り
I'm
が
going to repay
でき
that
ちゃっ
debt.
たでしょそれも返さなきゃ
And that's her answer. It sounds like there's nothing left to worry about.
ヤシオくん、
Yoshio-kun,
この前は
thanks for giving me that
写
photo.
真ありがとうね。
少しは役に立った
Did it help a little?
Yeah,
すごく
a bunch.
あれがなかったら
Without that,
私
I don't think I could have
何
done
もできなか
anything.
ったと思う。だから
So,
ありがとう。
thank you.
礼ならアキちゃんに言ってよ
You should thank
純ちゃ
Gaki-chan.
んや僕
Our
の
Madam
ことを一
President
番
was
心配して
worried
たの
about you
あの部
and
長さん
Zoc
だ
the
から
most out
ね
of all of us.
Ah, June.
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil, she's back! You don't have to use the same exact phrase as Mikai, come on. Looks like Subaru managed to escape. As soon as Akiho spots Shuna, she comes sprinting toward her as fast as she can. Aww. That's cute.
Don't quit the robotics club.
She jumps into Juno's chest and clings into her with every ounce of strength she has.
I won't let go until you say you won't quit. You can't make me.
あきほちゃん
Akiho-chan, I
その
don't know how to
なん
put
て言っ
this,
たらいい
but
か
Juno looks to me for help. I put on a wry smile and shrug.
純
Tell her very
決め
clearly
た
what
こと
you
をはっ
decided,
きり言ってやれば
Jin-chan.
いいそれで安心
And give
さ
her
せて
some
や
peace
る
of mind.
あそ
Asu.
Juno nods as forcefully as she can and faces the puzzled Akiho. A warm smile forms on her face.
これからも
I'm looking forward to working with you, President.
No. You know what? That's a good note to end on. For that ending, yeah. Hi, Peachy. You're just in time for the credits scene. Are the girly pops Daijobu? Yeah. They are now. Perfect timing for the credits sequence, though. Wee. It's on time, let's go. Yeah, it is the Phantasm. It was last time too. Not that those eyes, the 300 were to be deceived. Hello? Wait. Paying attention to the lyrics is a mistake. Not the Sonome. Hello? God damn it, Phantasm. Basics cleared. I am really enjoying Robotics notes. And, like, I'm having a swell time too small of a time. And I'm not concerned with that anything bad is going to, like, majorly bad is going to happen in Robotics Notes. I think it's too late for that. Like, I think it's mostly going to be quote-unquote background noise for the horrors that we're used to. My main concern is when we're done with Robotics Notes and Robotics Notes Dash, because then we're going to Chaos Child. That's what I'm concerned about, because it's going to hit hard. Because it's like, oh, wholesome robots. And then the successor of Chaos Head with a different cast, you know? That's what's concerning me about Robotics Notes. It's not that I'm expecting super horrible shit to happen here, it's just how daunting Chaos Child is gonna feel after. But I'll try to enjoy the wholesome moments while we're having these wholesome moments. I'm kind of glad that the Daitoku ending didn't take the romantic, like, lead like the Nai route ended up having, because I feel like that sets up better for the other endings we can reasonably expect to get. But I don't know, it's been a cute, wholesome time. I hope you guys enjoyed the Daitoku ending. Even then, Nai wasn't terribly romantic. Yeah, they still went on a date though. The most romantic here was Daitoku's family assuming that Kai was her boyfriend. Ugh. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the next ending, the next phase. I see that there's only 2 more empty slots left at the bottom there, so that'll be interesting. Who could possibly? I mean, there's Subaru and Akiho. Is that it? I'm pretty sure there's more endings than that, though. Let me double check the guide, because I still have that open. Yeah, phase 7, which I'm going to need to... Oh, Frau. I think Frau is next, even though most of the replies are to, Sister Centipede on Twippo. Check your tweets for a surprise. I checked for the tweets for a surprise. There wasn't really surprising. Whatever. Well, no, there's a lot of Frau. Okay, so Frau might be next or phase 8. There's phase 9 and phase 12. Oh right, phase 9 we can get bad endings, which is interesting. That actually worries me now that I think about it. But I guess for those blank spaces it could just be Subaru and Frau then. Subaru ending would be iconic, but... yeah. Because I feel like Akiho's too important to have, like, a little badge at the bottom here. Kind of like Mimi. I don't know. But it'll be interesting. I will have to write down what to do for phase 7 and then phase 8. There isn't really anything to write down for phase 9. It's just like, depending on what you choose to do, at certain points in this phase, you may encounter a bad end. If you do, use the daily records feature to go back and do the opposite of what you first did. If you reach the end of phase 9 without getting the bad ending, you might be interested in going back to see it. If so, save your game where you were at and use the daily records feature to go back and do the opposite of what you first did. That's intriguing. Because that doesn't sound like it has anything to do with TWIPs, you know? I don't know. That's a later problem. You have cheese. It's now. Cheese good. I see. Well, anyways, I will close the game out. Let's quickly get to my just chatting screen first, though. Technology, I can move 2 things at once. Anyways, let's get the BGM audible now. But yeah, what do you guys think so far, though? Technology. Yeah, technology. That's what Robotics Notes is all about. Oh, ad break. Oopsie. That's fine. Welp indeed. Edgelord, that's what I think. Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna go unplug the laptop so I can get that out of the way sooner than later. Hang on. God freaking ad. Yeah, you got this, Nigiri. You can live. Not that Nigiri can hear me. Death, Nigiri says. Goodness. Man, I didn't even get water. I'll just have to move it down from the freezer. A small part of me wants to Miku. Help. I can't help you, Nigiri. Words of encouragement in chat. I guess, well, Nigiri suffers from ads. I'm going to find out who I want to raid. Apparently someone was using their Robotics Notes Elite, tag earlier. Let me see if there's anyone in Robotics Notes. Nope. What about Robotics Notes Elite? Nope, no one else is live right now. Just me, myself, and I. Add-on. You have your cheese, it's at least. I see. Cheese is quite important though, yes. Did you enjoy your ad? Did I enjoy your ad prison? Good question. Wobots, Sparkles, so true. A lot of people are alive today. It is Saturday. That only makes sense actually now that I think about it. Too many options though. I don't know who to raid. I'm very tempted to just raid Hiragi Yu. Because Hiragi Yu is playing some more Sucker for Love. The newest one. Like last time when we raided. But Dai is also an option. I'm not shy of good options. Because there's also Ritsu. But I also could raid someone new. That wouldn't be a horrible idea. If you guys haven't seen it already, please check the Discord to see the tattoo that Fox and Mars drew up. They're gonna be getting it soon-ish. That is their plan anyway. It looks really good. It will apparently be matching another tattoo that they already have. Be going on their thigh, because the other one's on the other thigh. It's cool shit. Oh shoot, I forgot to say, the draw this in your style, it is past March 1st, not March, it's definitely past March 1st too. It's past May 1st, so like, at this point, if I do get 10 entries for that, there won't be any, prizes, but you all are still encouraged to draw me or draw this in your style drawing. Just there won't be any prizes because it's already been like 2 months, and I've so far only had a work in progress from Aeon submitted. Not that I really advertised it super hard, if I can be honest. I've been busy advertising other shit. Yoanya near your thigh, that's fair to agree. I want another tattoo, but like I don't really know what I want right now. You should totally commission a tattoo for you one day if you ever have tattoo money. What? Are you saying I should pay for your tattoo, or you would want to commission me to design a tattoo for you? Is that what you're trying to say? Like draw? Okay, you would like me to design a tattoo for you, but I actually got a similar commission from Bear. Like, depending on what you ask for, it could count as like a sketch commission, so it's like a cheaper tier. But if you have ideas, feel free to toss them my way, because I can always think of it. I won't work on it until you have commission money, but I can also tell you like a range so you can like save up for it and then save up for the tattoo. Options. You think when you want those kind of a basic tattoo, but you still want it? Hey, nothing wrong with basic. I have a basic tattoo. Like, just 3 hiraganas and 3 music clefs. Which I'm pretty sure is all the music. Are there more clefs other than those 3? Four. Oh, that doesn't count. Alto versus tenor, but it's literally the same exact clef. What's different is where middle C is because you scooch up the clef. That doesn't count. Cowards. I mean, I guess technically it's still different, but meh. I guess, yeah, technically percussion has its own thing with the pause sign effectively. But, like, the fun thing about alto clef is you can literally put it anywhere on the, like, clef, and that determines where middle C is no matter what. Oh, you want to send a moon with a face, but with beads running down? I feel like that could probably definitely count as, like, a sketch tier, because the one person that commissioned me for that before was Bear, actually, and was for a flower. You can actually see the example on VGenR. And, yeah, I think I would count that as a sketch. Just give me further examples. See, I think I charged only $20 for that. Let me see. I do have the Skeb style, but the regular is, yeah, $20, but I can give you a discount if you need a discount, because I'm nice. You know, technically you already have a moon because moonstick, but that doesn't count. Yeah, no. The moonstick doesn't count. Not for this purposes, anyway. I still haven't decided who to raid yet. I'm very good at this. Oh, maybe I should see if I can find someone new to raid on Blue Sky. See if I can find someone new from there. Seems like there's mostly VTuber art on this tag rather than people being alive right now. Does anyone use this tag besides me? Okay. Oh, that's from 4 days ago. Latest. Me. This is weekly schedule. Nah, that person's no longer alive. Okay. Well, okay. Maybe some other time Blue Sky will actually be useful for finding someone new to raid. But that day is not today. You haven't been on Dai stream in a while? Well, I can fix that problem. He's streaming right now. Yeah, Dai and Hiragiyu are my top choices, but you know what? I can make a poll. You guys get to decide if I can hit the right things anyway. Cause I'm fine with Hiragiyu or Dai. I totally shouldn't raid Dai. Oh, come on. You guys can have repeat votes. I'm gonna chuck Ritsu VR as one of the options too, because I feel like I like to raid all three of them. You know, Yukahaku is also live if I recall correctly. There we go. 4 options. 3 minutes. Why can't you see the poll? Because it's only just now up. You're getting a little eager. It takes time for me to type, okay? I think about who's live and whatnot. I think Yukahaku is still live. Yeah, Yukahaku is live doing art. No, never mind, you're still, yeah. So, the options are Yukahaku, who is currently doing some arts, and then Ritsu VR, which is currently playing Final Fantasy X-2 HD Remaster. Then Daifuku, who's doing makers and crafting, specifically doing some keyboard builds. And then there's Hiragiyu, who's playing Suck for Love. I forget the tagline, and Twitch is being stupid. Let me refresh the page. Suck for Love. The Date to Die For, which is the newest installment in the Sucker for Loves. Yeah. Vote at the top of chat, who should I raid? So far, Dai is in the lead by 2, but you guys can vote additional votes. Ritsu VR has now another vote. Let's go. Look at you guys use the polls. I wish I could give you guys little I voted stickers, because that would be kind of funny, honestly. Dai is still in the lead by 1 vote. And 1 vote only. While that goes, I'm going to put this drink away because it's caffeinated. Yeah, so how's everyone's night? Good question. I'll be right back. You're bored? I see. Guess you'll be watching Dai's stream? Valid. You did some trick homework, then realized you actually skipped a session after you did the attached quiz? Oof. Spooky. You still have salmon in the oven waiting for you. It's probably cold by now, though, so you might have to reheat it. But the salmon's still there. Just for you. Untouched. It's sad. It's lonely in the oven. You say you hate working, but then you're bored on the weekends. That does happen, huh? Yeah, c'est la vie. Well, it seems like Dai has successfully won the poll, so we'll be rating Dai, who once again is currently working on a cube. A cube for a Terra Nox. Yeah, so let's go check that out. Salmon good, so true. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. As always, I really do appreciate it. I hope you liked Daitoko's ending. I quite liked it. It was very wholesome, very cute. And if you missed it or missed most of it, like a certain Peach, go ahead and watch the VOD after here on Twitch, because it won't be up on YouTube until next week. But also, I recommend you watch my edited videos over the YouTube VODs, because I actually put effort into those ones. Anyways, yeah. No thoughts, head empty. I'll catch you all next time, be it tomorrow with more doors, or Monday when we are doing some Jackbox. highly recommend if you join that for some funds. Yeah. Alright, bye bye everyone. Wow.